Welcome everyone to the NXP EdgeVerse Techcast, where you will learn all about NXP software, tools, and enablement that supports NXP processors and microcontrollers. My name is Kyle Dando, and I am excited about today's episode. It's all centered on security and embedded design. Bridgette, how are you doing today?
Hi, Kyle. Doing great over here. And hello to all of our listeners. This is Bridgette Stone, and welcome to this week's security episode. Security is brought up in so many of my meetings. It will be terrific to learn more about how NXP helps secure our customers' products. I can't think of anybody better than our own Stella Or to educate us.
Absolutely. Stella, this is great that you're our guest. Stella focuses all her time at NXP to make sure that this technology pillar is understood and it's covered by NXP products and tools. But Stella, why don't you quickly introduce yourself and your current role in security at NXP?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Stella Or. I'm based in Dallas. I joined NXP in 2022 and work as the product manager for NXP ecosystem team. My major role in NXP is to drive the support of our security enablement and security tool for NXP MCU and MPU products. I have been spending over 18 years of my career on embedded security, including payment, industrial, and IoT industries.
Stella, you are such an incredible colleague. I really enjoy working with you. Are you ready to jump in and answer some security questions for our listeners?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Bridget. I'm ready to go.
So, Stella, let's start with the basics. What exactly is embedded security? And when we say embedded, what does that really mean for our listeners? Why should they care about it in their daily lives?
Embedded security is a cool topic that focuses on how to prevent malicious access to embedded systems. Listeners can think of an embedded system as any product that has a processor inside. The processor runs software to implement some tasks. These tasks can include keeping the time running, or make the best cup of coffee in your morning, or in extreme cases, controlling the temperature or allowing access to your home. We want to prevent our personal data from being stolen. For example, we use our mobile phone for online shopping and online banking. Will my personal data and card information be disclosed and stolen? At home, smart home devices like doorbell and IP camera capture videos of our home, which we think it is private to us. What if someone sneaks into these devices and monitor what we are doing? To ease our worries, embedded security protects these devices from unauthorized access. It is such an important topic that the new global regulations are being outlined and enforced, such as the US Cyber Trust Mark and the European Union Cyber Resilience Act.
What are some of the requirements for a customer to protect against these threats?
Embedded security involves various types of technologies, include encryption and authentication to safeguard our data. Building a secure embedded system requires a detailed plan. It cannot be an afterthought. Having a security embedded processor in place at the beginning is essential for the architecture of a secure design. A secure processor is just like a vault to safeguard your private information, and only you have the key to unlock it.
Okay, I understand that. So what type of secure devices does NXP provide customers when they're in this architecture phase and they're trying to secure their applications? What can NXP provide customers?
NXP is a leader in solutions for security. These solutions are grouped in the EdgeLock brand of our products and services. Customer can evaluate standalone secure elements or secure processor. You may recognize the name Secure Elements SE050 or 51. These are standalone secure elements products, and some of our newer processors from NXP typically include an option that integrates a secure core called Secure Enclave. Example includes the KW45, MCX W71, MCX N947, and LPC55S3X. Listeners can learn about these security solutions at nxp.com/edgelock.
Well, that was great. Thank you very much for listing those. It's amazing the breadth of security products that NXP does offer. I'm sure you have your hands full keeping everything in line. So one thing, though, is our group specifically is very focused on the software enablement. Can you talk to us about what types of things we provide customers when they're going in and they're trying to activate these security features and the products you just mentioned?
Yeah. To build a secure application, first of all, we need to perform risk analysis. Then we address the risk by multiple preventions. To develop secure applications with NXP Secure Processor, we provide example codes in our SDK or the BSP for the processor, and Application Code Hub to show how the security features of our processor can be used. Secondly, NXP provides tools. We have the Secure Provisioning Tools, also known as SEC tool, which is a GUI tool for generating secret keys, certificates, and secure binary image for on-chip bootloader. For some users, they may want to develop their own secure provisioning tools. We have the Secure Provisioning SDK, usually called the SP-SDK. It provides API for users to build their own programming tools to configure security features of our processors. If the TEE Trust Execution environment is used, we have a configuration tool for setting up secure and non-secure areas with memory regions visualization. All these tools can help on building a secure image for protecting software IP, preventing malware injection, and setting up memory isolation to prevent unauthorized access to memory and processor resources.
Stella, you mentioned about malware injection and memory isolation. Can you break down why these protections matter? What happens if a design doesn't have them?
Yeah, let me share an interesting fact. According to one article published by DeVry University, more than 1 billion malware programs exist. What would hackers do with malware? Hackers could replace the original software with malware if a secure bootloader is missing in the device. Devices that are deployed in the field and lack of secure updates are often targets for this type of attack. With malware being programmed to a device, hacker could access to all the information stored and processed in the device. This could be your bank account information. Also, hacker could pretend you in a conversation or in a transaction, then redirect the transaction to the hacker's account.
Yikes, that is no good. So how does NXP help customers prevent these attacks?
Malware injections can be prevented by having an immutable bootloader in a processor, so that before a firmware is programmed, the bootloader verifies its signature and makes sure the firmware is signed by the device manufacturer. Moreover, having memory isolations designed in the processor can prevent unauthorized access to some memory and sensitive data. Some processors have a dedicated core and area for this purpose. In the NXP Secure Processor highlight earlier, we call it Secure Enclave. Sensitive data is only handled in the Secure Enclave and doesn't leave this area. Accessing sensitive information from outside is prohibited.
So the Secure Enclave is integrated in the processors. Do the secure elements provide similar capabilities in an external companionship?
Correct. Both provide memory isolations that prevent unauthorized access to code and data.
So Stella, you have shared that NXP provides many solutions to address the security requirements of our customers. If you could only highlight one thing from NXP's security enablement, what would most impress our listeners, and what can you describe what that would be?
Yeah, we understand the complexity of designing secure applications. Therefore, we put a lot of efforts last year in the SEC2 to improve the usability. Now, with the new workspace interface, users are able to build a secure application with just 6 clicks. It greatly simplifies the process of creating the first secure image for an application. The new workspace configures secure bootloader for you, generates secret keys, and generate secure image for your application. Moreover, a bunch of good functions in the SEC2. These include trust provisioning for customers who work with contract manufacturer at production. They may want to protect their software IP, secret keys, and certificates.
Oh, certificates. I know about those. That can be pretty complicated to implement. So what can we provide that helps people that want to generate certificates?
In the SEC2, it allows you to generate device certificates through the NXP trust provisioning solution, such as the EdgeLock to go. You can also set up life cycle of a processor, configure a trust zone to create boundaries between trusted world and untrusted world, set up debug authentications that allow an authorized person to debug the device in the field.
Stella, that's really impressive. Now, security regulations like the EU Cyber Resilience Act and the US Cyber Trust Mark are becoming more and more important. How does NXP Solutions help customers stay compliant?
Security regulations concern how users' data can be well protected and prevent hackers from taking over the control. There are several ways to achieve this goal. NXP provides security enablement, include secure bootloader, secure firmware update, memory isolation with secure enclave or trust zone, on-chip crypto accelerator, and state-of-art crypto libraries for encryption and signature verification, secure storage for protecting secret keys, runtime security, tamper monitor and sensors, and so on. All these features create multi-layers of protection. Just imagine a defense system that has multi-layers of shields addressing attack from different angles and different strengths. Most importantly, the design process of our processor is IEC 62443-4-1 certified. And the processor we made can fulfill these requirements of IEC 62443-4-2, which set up a benchmark and best practice for embedded security in various industry and regulations.
Thanks for breaking it down. That makes total sense to me. And I have one last thing from my side. I've been reading so much more on articles around Edge AI and AI in general. And how does NXP support the responsible AI security guidelines and regulations that we're seeing come about?
Yeah, that is a global recognition of the need of responsible AI. Besides voluntary frameworks and standardization efforts, binding legislations are being drafted all over the world, some of which have already came to effect recently. One of the most significant is the European AI Act. This horizontal legislation, meaning that it applies across industries, has entered into force in August 2024. More legislations are being published in many countries to manage the risk of AI and its data usage. NXP aims to support our customer in creating AI solutions that follow the responsible AI practices. These include Edge AI enablement for users to develop a reliable execution of an edge AI system in which data processing occur locally on the device and keep users' data secure and private. Also, AI model is a valuable asset. NXP provides best-in-class platform security that I mentioned earlier for protecting AI models against remote and local attacks.
That's really fantastic, Stella. It's clear that NXP is not just providing security solutions, but really thinking ahead to protect both today and tomorrow's technologies. I can't thank you enough for sharing all these insights. It's been a wonderful conversation.
That's right, Stella. You did an awesome job. So let's do a quick recap, Bridgette, for the listeners. So we started with the basics. What is embedded security? And why is it essential for everyone listening? It's protecting your smart home devices and keeping your personal data safe. And then we learned that, security isn't something you just add at the last minute. It has to be built in from the start during those architecture phases. You want to use secure processors and technologies like encryption and authentication.
Stella also walked us through NXP's security solutions from EdgeLock secure elements to processors with built-in secure enclaves, giving customers multiple layers of protection against threats. And if you're wondering how to actually implement these features, NXP provides software and tools like the secure provisioning tool to make security easier. So much so that developers can now build a secure application in just 6 clicks.
In just 6 clicks. That's easy. We also touched upon the growing importance of security regulations like the EU Cyber Resilience Act and the US Cyber Trust Mark. And finally, we finished up by looking at the future. We discussed the responsibility of AI security and how NXP is working to protect AI models and ensure that data is private.
Security is complex, but as we've seen today, NXP is making it simpler, strong, and more accessible for developers everywhere.
That's right. And that was a great episode. Bridgette and I would like to remind all our listeners to visit nxp.com and take a look for that security in 6 clicks video that Stella mentioned. There's also a great security enablement page that we'll put into the podcast notes. We also dropped an interesting poll question down in the description. So for those that have access, please give us your opinion to the poll question.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and set up notifications for the EdgeVerse Techcast, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right. Well, time is short, and Stella, we appreciate you taking your time with us. There's so much more to talk about with security and all the regulations being put in place. Do you have time, hopefully in the future, to join us again, Stella?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thanks, everyone. And until next time, continue to innovate in the EdgeVerse.